Beets may help prevent Alzheimer's disease. Beets have been shown to fight inflammation, lower blood pressure and aid detoxification. Studies also suggest they can help lower your risk for heart failure and stroke, and provide powerful benefits for your brain, largely due to their high nitrate content. Your body transforms nitrates into nitric oxide, which enhances oxygenation and has beneficial impacts on your circulatory and immune systems. Nitric oxide is a soluble gas continually produced from the amino acid L-arginine inside your cells, where it supports endothelial function and protects your mitochondria. Nitric oxide also serves as a signaling or messenger molecule in every cell of your body. Many competitive athletes actually use beet juice for its nitric oxide boosting benefits. Research shows raw beets may increase stamina during exercise by as much as 16%, courtesy of its nitric oxide boost. Beets may protect against development of Alzheimer's disease. Now, research presented at the 2018 American Chemical Society's meeting in New Orleans claims beets may also be a powerful ally in the fight against Alzheimer's disease, the most severe and lethal form of dementia, as reported by the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. First, they examined the possible cause of the condition. Although it's unknown, doctors have previously pinpointed beta-amyloid, a sticky protein that can disrupt communication between the brain cells and neurons. When it clings to metals, such as copper or iron, the beta-amyloid peptides misfold and clump together, causing inflammation and oxidation. Therefore, the scientists targeted foods known to improve oxygen flow and cognitive functions, including beets. A purple veggie has a compound called betaine that binds to metals, which could prevent the misfold of the peptides. To test their hypothesis, the scientists measured oxidation levels of the beta-amyloid when it was mixed with the betaine mixture, and they found that oxidation decreased by up to 90% exposed to the beet compound. Preventing oxidation stunts beta-amyloid clustering. When clusters of beta-amyloid form, it triggers brain inflammation and oxidation of neurons, and researchers believe this oxidation is what causes irreparable damage to the brain cells. Oxidation is particularly severe when the beta-amyloid is bound to copper. In this experiment, oxidation was largely prevented when betaine from beets were added to the mix. As noted by co-author Daryl Colturato, we can't say that betaine stops the misfolding of amyloid beta completely, but we can say that it reduces oxidation. Less oxidation could prevent misfolding to a certain degree, perhaps even to the point that it slows the aggregation of beta-amyloid peptides. While the researchers hope their finding will lead to the development of better Alzheimer's drugs, there's really no reason to wait for such developments, seeing how Alzheimer's is primarily a disease predicated on diet and lifestyle. Indeed, in his presentation of the findings, see featured video, Tirado notes that this is yet another piece of information people can use to improve their eating habits and lower their risk of disease. In an age where people are trying to look more at what they're consuming and what they're eating, this is another source of data people can use. We are trying to get you to do the same thing your mother was trying to get you to do when you were a kid, which is eat your vegetables. I think this will be a good step forward in looking at how we can preventatively treat Alzheimer's. Beets improve neuroplasticity. Previous research has shown raw beet juice helps improve neuroplasticity, primarily by increasing blood flow and tissue oxygenation. Nitric oxide, in its capacity as a signaling molecule, also allows your brain cells to communicate with each other better. Importantly, the beets boosted oxygenation of the somatomotor cortex, a brain area that is often affected in the early stages of dementia. Here, the beet juice was used in combination with exercise, which also improves blood flow and oxygenation on its own. The participants, middle-aged individuals diagnosed with high blood pressure, were given either beet juice or a placebo to drink 3 times a week, an hour before exercise, for 6 weeks. Exercise consisted of a 50-minute walk on a treadmill. The results showed adding beet juice to your exercise regimen can be a simple yet powerful way to augment the benefits of exercise to your brain. Fermented beet juice powder might even be better as it still has the beneficial nutrients, and the carbs have been pre-digested by fermentation process, as noted by study co-author W. Jack Rejeski, a health and exercise science professor at Wake Forest University in North Carolina. Nitric oxide goes to the areas of the body which are hypoxic, or needing oxygen, and the brain is a heavy feeder of oxygen in your body. We showed in this brief training study, was that, as compared to exercise alone, Adding a beetroot juice supplement to exercise resulted in brain connectivity that closely resembles what you see in younger adults. 2 caveats are worthy of mention. First, avoid using harsh mouthwashes, as this will reduce the conversion of nitric oxide by killing off necessary microbes. Also avoid fluoridated water, as fluoride converts nitric oxide into harmful nitric acid. Fluoride also has other brain-harming influences, and has been shown to impair neurological functioning all on its own. It is, after all, classified as a neurotoxin. Turmeric, another food shown to lower Alzheimer's risk. Another food that can bolster your neurological health is curcumin, an active ingredient found in the spice turmeric. Recent research shows turmeric supplementation helped improve memory and focus in seniors already suffering mild memory lapses, and reduced amyloid and tau deposits associated with Alzheimer's. The double-blind, placebo-controlled study, published in the American Journal of Geriatric Psychiatry, included 40 adults between the ages of 50 and 90. None had a diagnosis of dementia at the time of their enrollment. Participants randomly received either 90 mg of curcumin twice a day for 18 months, or a placebo. A standardizing cognitive assessment was administered at the start of the study and at 6-month intervals thereafter. And on the level of curcumin in their blood was measured at the beginning and end of the study. 30 of the participants also underwent positron emission tomography, PET, scans to assess their level of amyloid and tau deposits before and after treatment. Those who received curcumin saw significant improvements in memory and concentration, while the control group experienced no improvement. Overall, the curcumin group improved their memory by 28% over the year-and-a-half-long treatment period. PET scans also confirmed the treatment group had significantly less amyloid and tau buildup in areas of the brain that control memory, compared to controls. Curcumin has also been shown to increase levels of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF. And reduced levels of BDNF have been linked to Alzheimer's disease. Yet another way curcumin may benefit your brain and lower your risk of dementia is by affecting pathways that help reverse insulin resistance, hyperlipidemia and other symptoms associated with metabolic syndrome and obesity. High-sugar diet significantly raises your risk of dementia. Perhaps the most important dietary factor that impacts your Alzheimer's risk is the amount of net carbs, total carbs minus fiber, you consume on a regular basis. A high-sugar diet triggers insulin resistance, currently thought to affect as many as 8 in 10 Americans, and there's a very strong link between insulin resistance and Alzheimer's. For example, a longitudinal study published in the journal Diabetologia in January 2018, which followed nearly 5,190 individuals for over a decade, found that the higher an individual's blood sugar, the faster their rate of cognitive decline. Even mild elevation of blood sugar and mild insulin resistance are associated with an elevated risk for dementia. Diabetes and heart disease are also known to elevate your risk, and both are rooted in insulin resistance. One of the most striking studies on carbohydrates and brain health revealed high-carb diets increase your risk of dementia by 89%, while high-fat diets lower it by 44%. According to the authors, a dietary pattern with relatively high caloric intake from carbohydrates and low caloric intake from fat and proteins may increase the risk of mild cognitive impairment or dementia in elderly persons. Sugar atrophies your hippocampus, impairing memory. Research published in 2013 showed that sugar and other carbohydrates can disrupt your brain function even if you're not diabetic or have any signs of dementia. Here, short and long-term glucose markers were evaluated in healthy, non-diabetic, non-demented seniors. Memory tests and brain imaging were also used to assess brain function and the actual structure of their hippocampus. The findings revealed that the higher the two blood glucose measures, the smaller the hippocampus, the more compromised its structure, and the worse the individual's memory was. According to the authors, the structural changes in the hippocampus alone can partially account for the statistical link we see between glucose and memory. As your hippocampus is involved with the formation, organization and storage of memories, the results suggest glucose directly contributes to atrophy of the hippocampus. Which means that even if you're not insulin resistant or diabetic, excess sugar may still be negatively affecting your memory. The authors suggest that strategies aimed at lowering glucose levels even in the normal range may beneficially influence cognition in the older population. A similar study published in 2014 found that type 2 diabetics lose more gray matter with age than expected. And this brain atrophy also helps explain why diabetics have a higher risk for dementia and of earlier onset of dementia than non-diabetics. As noted by Dr. Sam Gandhi, director of the Center for Cognitive Health at Mount Sinai Hospital in New York City. These findings suggest that chronic high levels of insulin and sugar may be directly toxic to brain cells, adding that this would definitely be a potential cause of dementia.